The perfectionist in me is waiting. For the right moment, the best words, the correct timing. If I do enough, plan well, and curate everything to the most pristine image of what I want to communicate, then what exactly? Perhaps I'm just afraid to actually start, because it will mean leaving my old life behind. For real this time. Or it could be the fear I have that nothing will work out. Failure does seem to love the company of the fear-tangled thoughts rattling around in my head. And so what? It wouldn't be the first time I tried and failed. By now, failure is a good old friend of mine, one I've learned to welcome home with open arms and a soft smile, tilting my head just a bit as if to say, yes, of course, you again. I was in therapy the other day because somehow I'm now the type to be in therapy. And my therapist sent me this article. I can't believe I have a therapist now, much less one that I actually like. Anyway, she sent me this article about, what was it? Oh yes, that's right. The insistent, constant fear of doing something wrong. A subtype of a category of an illness I supposedly have now. Or maybe I've always had somehow. The thing is, I'm not sure it's a fear, really. I mean, how can I fear something I've always done? Wrongness circles about me like our planet orbits the sun. My very being radiates the propensity to do what is wrong. Making mistakes has been my forte for as long as I can recall. And so, the checking, rechecking, and then checking again just to be sure. One more time maybe, because what if I'm wrong? After all, I have been several times before. Well, it's just because I guess mistakes weren't generally welcomed in my home. They would often turn into minor, sometimes aggressive, little inconveniences. Like this one time when I was 7, maybe 6, and it was snowing. My sister and I went to check the mail. Our neighborhood at the time had one of those clustered mailboxes with everyone's box listed in the same location. You know, kind of like at the post office. Luckily for us, it was only one house over on the same side of the street. To access our box, we had to use a key, and my mother, busy as she was, would sometimes send us outside to retrieve the mail. It was a fun chore for us to meander down the drive and small sidewalk, helping out in the simplest of ways. There were these tall oak trees looming everywhere around in our neighborhood, which was fitting of the name of our street, Tall Oaks Drive. In the fall, the oaks would shed their leaves. We would spend hours raking them into autumn-colored, crisp piles with our parents out back. I always hated doing yard work, but when it came to raking the leaves, my sister and I would toss ourselves in the neatly raked piles, giggling as we heard the leaves crunching under our tiny bodies. The joy was worth it, even if we had to fix the piles again in order to shove all the leaves into giant black trash bags, elongating the time spent on the chore. So this one winter, the tall oaks with their bare limbs, painted softly with a fine dusting of snow, towered over us as we pulled on our winter gear. Puffy trousers, thick coats, and snow boots. I had just gotten a brand new pair of pink, flowery mittens for Christmas that year. While it was a bit difficult to maintain a grasp, they kept my hands warm, and I had never owned a pair of mittens before. For some reason, at that age, mittens seemed more romantic than gloves, proper attire for a proper young lady, especially since they matched my pink winter coat. The crunching of the icy snow under our feet echoed as we made our way down the drive, my sister with mail key in hand. We made it to the boxes, found our house number, and turned the key. No mail. I begged my sister to let me hold the key on the way back, wanting to feel important in some small way. She acquiesced, and we began our short trek back home, metal key in my pink mittened hand. When we reached the edge of our yard, right next to the drive, I had this brilliant idea to kneel down, grab a fistful of snow, and toss it at my sister's back. The onslaught of laughter began as we diverged from our path into the yard, but not before I slipped the mail key from my mittened grasp into the side pocket of my pink coat. We stayed out in the snow, building a fort and crawling around in the cold terrain as our imaginations led us adrift from the day. After a little while, we heard our mother's voice call us in from the front porch. Abandoning our newly crafted fort of snow, we scampered up to the house. Mail? No mail today. Where's the key? My sister looked to me as I pulled my pink flowery mittens off and snuck my warm hand into my coat pocket only to find nothing. A slight ebbing of panic crawled up my spine as I began to check my other pocket. In the folds of my clothes. Anywhere. I didn't know where it was. How could I have lost it? Why did we stop to play in the snow? We had one task and I blew it. We could go back to look for it, but why bother? It's probably long gone now. I should have never asked my sister to hold the key. It must have slipped out of my hands at some point, maybe when I tried to place it in my pocket. And of course it did. I could barely grasp anything properly with those silly mittens on. How could I have been so stupid, done such a thing, made such a mistake? Now it's lost, and what if someone finds it? They could steal our mail. People do that sometimes, I guess. At best, now we have to get a new key. Stupid me. My sister and I snuck back out a little later on to try and look for it. Everywhere we had gone, prancing along the path, we looked. Right up to where the mailboxes stood, back up the walkway, and to the point where our neighbor's yard met ours, where I thought I had slipped the key from my mittened hand to my pocket. In the yard, on the side of the drive where we built the fort. We looked even a while later, with the snow melting in the warmth of the sunny day, our small snow fortress crumbling into wet puddles in the grass, and icy water trickling down the ditches in our street. Everywhere we looked, but the key was nowhere. Slipped from my pink mittened grasp, it was never to be found again. Now, if I'm good enough, I can remember these rules to live by. The religion I was raised in. Be careful. Think ahead. Plan accordingly. Consider all possible ways something could go wrong. Avoid any mistakes that I just might make. And yet, failure shuffles along just a step behind, my only remaining friend. Am I afraid? I don't know. It doesn't feel like fear. I've struggled a lot over all these years, messed up more times than I can keep count, crossing too many of others' lines, won too many misunderstandings with everyone around. This molds you into someone who expects it. But then if you expect it, don't you try to prevent it? I have all of these grand little ideas in my head, yet nothing ever seems to come to fruition. The paralysis of planning ahead makes me into a frozen coffin of all the dreams I'll never accomplish. And I dream of success more than anything, yet live in the reality that we run in parallel to each other, paths never crossing. So this is it then. I will record, take what stories and images I have, blend them together, and put it out there. Before it's ready, because it will never be ready. And yes, before everything else is done too, because nothing will ever be done. Sometimes, I guess, it's just important to take a step, backwards, forwards, sideways even, I don't know. I don't know where I am going. But if I take a step, then perhaps I might just be going somewhere. Even if it turns out to be nowhere, after all. Let's call it my exposure therapy. What do you say? Do you want to go nowhere with me? Just go outside.